My microphone broke. Out of all the anime genres, isekai might be the chuddiest. I mean, you gotta be a real sicko to enjoy this slop. And you know what? I'm a sicko because I like some of them. But one of my biggest problems with these type of shows is that all the main characters are attractive. So it makes me wonder, where the fuck are the chuds? Where are the ugly incel main characters? And no, an ugly troglodyte being reborn as a little boy does not count. Luckily, somebody heard my prayer and created Ugly Mug Epic Fighter. A story about a fat, ugly, bald incel chud. Now that's what I'm talking about. So I gave this show a watch and I describe it as almost interesting. The premise is kind of funny and the power system is cool. That's really all this show has going for it. Most viewers would probably watch like the first episode because they thought the premise was funny and then never watched it again. Not me though. Why? Because I'm a dirty little pig that likes to roll around in the mud.
Oink, oink.
So our main chud is a character named Shigeru, who's a chill guy with an ugly face. This guy gets no play, but you know, he lives a pretty satisfying life. He has like a good job. But just like real life, a void has to ruin it all. So this random woman on a train accuses him of SA simply because she was bored and she hates ugly incel chuds. If there's one thing I hate, it's women making up lies to slander innocent men. So then this guy gets arrested. He gets fired from his job. He's freaking living on welfare and food stamps. And he just doesn't leave his room. So things are not looking up for this guy. But then one night, he's scrolling Soy Jack Party and he finds a strange ritual to send him to another world. And I guess he was playing too much Fallout 4 because he decides to make his character an ugly freak.
Once there was an ugly barnacle. He was so ugly that everyone died. The end.
He also makes it so if he touches a woman, he dies. And also he can't make any money. But in return, he gets plus 1 trillion bonus points for his stats, making him a god. You know, honestly, for somebody with negative 255 looks, he doesn't look that bad. Like, I don't know if it's because, like, I'm American and I'm desensitized, but I feel like I see someone that looks like him every day. His weaknesses don't even really come into effect, like, oh, he touches a woman and he dies. Okay, that could be interesting, especially considering the main villain is a woman. Except, no, not really. He puts gloves on and it nullifies it, and it's really just treated as like a gag, if anything. The money thing doesn't really matter either because he can just get his party members to hold the money for him, so he really doesn't have any weaknesses. He's also Jesus Christ himself, apparently. Like, every single character in this show is related to his life in some sort of way. They'll introduce a character and they'll be like, oh, I met this ugly dude 5 years ago and he changed my life forever. They'll introduce a character and be like, in the real world, I was homeless, tweaking out on meth in front of a gas station. When suddenly, Ugly Mug was filling up his car with gasoline. He comes up to me and gives me a Jersey Mike sub. That changed my life forever, and I became a successful CEO. I owe my life to Ugly Mug. Seriously, every character's backstory is pretty much like that. So let's talk about these other assholes. Okay, we got Seiji, who's like this kind-hearted dude. He's pretty cool, I guess. I don't know, I like them the most out of all the other characters. Basically, his backstory is he was a CEO who was working too much, but then he met Ugly Mug, and Ugly Mug said,
"Daddy, chill."
and that changed his life forever. And he became a successful CEO. But then he went bankrupt and became depressed. But now he's in the isekai world, so I guess things are looking up for him. I don't know. Seka is the retarded girl character. She's kind of like an Osaka or an Orihime light. She's also a crippled little freak.
You don't know what hard work is. Never even stood.
Watching this footage back, these bullies really just spawn in. Like, she goes outside for like 5 seconds and it's immediately, cripple detected! Cripple detected! Oh, what's wrong? Looking up at the sky? Is that where your parents are? You crippled little bitch! So apparently she was accidentally crippled by the other girl main character, Reze. How did this happen? Good question. We never find out. Reze's probably the most mysterious character in this show. She's the IRL sister of the Seiji guy, but she doesn't want him to know that. And she also can't give away her real name. And she's the only one that knows Ugly Mug's true identity. And her goal is to help Ugly Mug guide Seka and Seiji. Why is she doing all this? We never find out. We don't even know her real name. It gets like cut off at the very end of the final episode.
Liz. 君はもしかして。
会長、お客様です。
I don't know why they ended on so many loose ends when they know this is not gonna continue. The manga finishes where the anime finishes, so there's literally no source material to adapt. For example, you know the girl who accused Ugly Mug of SA? Well, apparently she's not some ordinary girl. She's actually like a Johann Liebert, mastermind, sociopath, evil demon. And her twin sister is the main villain. None of this gets expanded upon. Apparently, like, AI was gonna be like a big plot point, but that gets thrown out. So it's like, what was the point of any of that? It just leaves the whole thing feeling unsatisfying. It feels like I wasted my time watching this show. Which I guess I'm watching isekai slop, so I don't know what else I expected. If this anime stuck to being a gag series, it honestly would have been a little bit better. I don't know why they tried to give it a plot like 8 episodes in. They waited 8 whole episodes to introduce the main villain and this like evil organization. So Karina is the main villain and she's also a god, just like Ugly Mug. In fact, she's stronger than he is. So her whole thing is she wants to interfere with Ugly Mug guiding his party. So when this character was initially introduced, I thought she'd be more like, you know, like a trickster type character. Like she'd pop up and not like directly attack the party, but like maybe fuck with them, you know what I mean? Maybe enhance one of the monsters and have them attack them or something. And then Ugly Mug has to, like, you know, help them out somehow. But no, that would be actually interesting. So instead, they just have, like, an anticlimactic final battle. And she doesn't even die. She just, like, gets buried under rubble. And I guess she just stops trying to kill them. It's really fucking stupid. The power system is probably the most interesting thing about this show, potentially. I say potentially because it's kind of executed poorly. Basically, the main power system is the special notes, which are the notes the reincarnated people put in before they go to the isekai world. For example, someone can write one that's like, if somebody lies to me, they die. Or make a vow that'll like make them stronger and give them a power up. It usually has to do with their backstory, so they're very like personalized. I actually thought this was a cool idea and a little bit different than the more generic isekai power systems. Like, it's not just, oh, it's just magic, you know? It's a little more personalized. Unfortunately, the more interesting powers are never explored or used very well. Take this guy's power, for example. In his special note, he wrote, he doesn't believe in any gods, which in theory should nullify Ugly Mug's and Karina's power, which he does. But for some reason, he works for Karina until for some reason he's like, oh, fuck this. And then he's like, I don't believe in you. And that sucks all of Karina's powers away. And he's about to kill her, but then he's like,
そのざまだとしばらく動けんだろう。リアを見つけた後にお前も殺してやる。絶対神をやれる力があるとなりゃ、もっともっと金が手に入る。オルドノングスピアってのはそういうとこだ。
Why? You have her on the ground. Why would you leave a fucking god unsupervised? Why not just kill her? Is everyone in this show stupid? Every character in this show is stupid as hell. And the fights are boring. Take this guy for example. You know, obviously evil. I mean, look at him. So his whole thing is that he hates rich people. So he built this casino to kill the rich people, I guess. Okay, this could be interesting. You know, it's a casino type setting. They could do a lot with that. Except they don't. His master plan is just to unleash monsters to kill people, I guess. Like, why even have it be a casino if you're just gonna fight generic monsters? And the main characters came up with this whole, like, elaborate plan to infiltrate the casino. But at the end of the day, they just show up and then beat his ass. So, like, what was the point of any of that? Why not just do that from the start and not waste my time? At the end of the day, this anime tries to be a parody, but ends up being just like a normal, generic isekai. Is it worth watching? If you hate yourself and you feel like watching worthless slop, maybe. Honestly, I just felt like I watched nothing. Because that is what I watched. It pretends to have a plot, but at the end of the day, nothing really happens. Like, yeah, it's bad, but like not bad enough to where I can watch it ironically and have a good time. It's just kind of mid. You know, overall, I'm just giving this a 4 out of 10. Meh.